Although battleships were supplanted by aircraft carriers by the end of World War II, they remain a testament to a bygone era of warfare and a symbol of their nation's might. For nearly half a century, the battleship was the singular symbol of a nation's composite power, a floating fortress that projected industrial might, military prestige, and political deterrence. Defined by heavy armor, massive guns, and thick-belted silhouettes, battleships dominated the world's waterways from the early 1900s until World War II. The battleship's mission was stark and simple: close with the enemy and destroy them. Yet during the Cold War, with the advent of the aircraft carrier and the guided missile, battleships quickly faded into obsolescence. Still, the legend of the battleship endures as a hulking leviathan of warfare, and some commentators, and even President Donald Trump, have called for their return. Also, in this video, we invite you to watch this video to learn about the 5 largest warships ever built in world history. Number 5. Bismarck, Germany, 1940. The Bismarck was a hulking brute of a warship, displacing 50,000 tons, with 8 15-inch guns, clearly a German attempt to challenge Britain on the high seas. On the Bismarck's very first sortie in May 1941, she sank the HMS Hood, Britain's most powerful battleship. In so doing, she sowed the seeds of her own destruction. Enraged by the Hood's loss, the British launched a relentless pursuit of the German warship, ultimately involving more than 50 ships and dozens of aircraft. Eventually crippled by torpedoes from Britain's relatively antiquated Fairey Swordfish biplanes, the Bismarck was finished off on May 27, 1941. Her career had lasted just 9 days, yet she transcended the war, becoming the most mythologized battleship ever built. Number 4. HMS Vanguard, United Kingdom, 1946. The Royal Navy's final battleship, and Britain's largest ever, was the 51,000-ton Vanguard. Built too late for World War II service, she served as the Royal Navy's flagship into the 1950s, blending wartime lessons with modern amenities. Installed with recycled 15-inch guns from earlier battleships, the Vanguard featured state-of-the-art radar and fire control. Ultimately, the battleship proved a poor fit for the Royal Navy in the post-war years, and she was decommissioned and scrapped in 1960, a capable and refined bookend to Britain's battleship era. Number 3. Iowa Class, United States, 1943. At 57,500 tons full load, the Iowa-class battleships were the pinnacle of American battleship design, with 9 16-inch guns, a 33-knot top speed, and radar precision. The class combined firepower and agility on a scale never before realized. The Iowa-class battleships played an outsized role in America's naval history. After vigorous service in the Pacific throughout the second half of World War II, the USS Missouri hosted the Japanese surrender in Tokyo Bay on September 2, 1945. The Missouri, the Iowa, and others of the class returned for the Korean War. Even more remarkably, several in the class were brought back into service in the 1980s, and served in the 1991 Gulf War, where the Missouri actually fired Tomahawk missiles at Iraqi targets. No other battleship class served with such longevity or symbolic weight. And 4 of the battleships, Missouri, Iowa, New Jersey, and Wisconsin, survive to this day. Number 2. Yamato, Japan, 1941. At the time of its construction, Japan's Yamato was the largest battleship ever built, displacing 72,800 tons, with 18.1-inch guns, and armor up to 16 inches thick. Built to outgun any foe, she represented Japan's commitment to decisive fleet battles. Yet as the Pacific War progressed, aircraft carriers came to rule the seas, relegating the Yamato to secondary importance. Though the Yamato was present at the Battle of Midway, it saw no action, with all the fighting conducted between American and Japanese carriers. Yamato also failed to see action during the Battle of the Philippine Sea, and played only a marginal role in the Battle of Leyte Gulf in October 1944. In the final days of the war, Japan sent Yamato on a one-way mission to Okinawa, with barely enough fuel to return. Stripped of air cover, she was relentlessly set upon by U.S. carrier aircraft. In April 1945, she exploded and sank with 3,000 sailors aboard. the Yamato's end essentially marked the end of the battleship era. Number 1. Musashi, Japan, 1942. Displacing 72,800 tons, with 9 18.1-inch guns, the Musashi was the largest battleship ever built, slightly edging out the Yamato, her sister ship, in terms of displacement. When first launched into the sea 1940, the behemoth battleship displaced so much water that she flooded the Japanese village opposite the port. However, things didn't go as planned for the mighty warship. Although the Musashi was formally commissioned in 1942 and served for most of the Pacific War, she failed to see significant action, suffering a torpedo hit in early 1944 that required a lengthy maintenance period. In October of the same year, she took unsustainable damage from American carrier aircraft during the Battle of Leyte Gulf and sank, an unceremonious end to the mightiest battleship of all time.